Good afternoon, I'm Stanley Palisada here. The biggest stories at this hour on ANC. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. breaks his silence and speaks for the first time on the ongoing turmoil in the Senate. He's coming home from his state visit to Japan with great concern over the developments, recalling he watched with horror as they unfolded. Marcos questions how the Senate has reached this level of conflict, saying it is very different from his time then as a senator.
I look at my other fellow senators. Madalas kaming nagtitinginan ni E.S. Ralph. Ganyan ba tayo? Ganyan ba tayo nung senador tayo? Meron ba tayong ganyan na ginagawa? Hindi tayo ganyan. Paano nangyari? Yung Senado hindi na kagaya nung panahon natin. Dahil nagpe-personalan na eh. Naging personal, ang babaw na ng usapan. I was watching the comments of former SP, another colleague of ours, Senator Frank Drilon. Sabi niya, ano nangyari dito? The Senate is now sheltering fugitives from justice. How did that happen? I don't understand how a Senate is supposed to function if those are the kind of things that the Senate is embroiled in. I hope they figure it out.
Meanwhile, Marcos denies the government is targeting the new Senate majority amid a growing number of legal cases filed against its members. He also rejects a proposal by Senator Rodante Marcoleta allowing senators to vote online.
As a former senator, I disagree with that. I understand that we had to do it in COVID because there was a health risk. But I do not see any particularly good reason for us to allow it now. It seems to only be applicable to Senator Bato, para makaboto si Senator Bato dahil nagtatago siya. Now, for someone who is actually a fugitive from justice, na hinahanap ng pulis, na hinahanap ng Interpol, at may arrest warrant galing sa ICC, palagay ko, hindi siya dapat magbumoto. Hanggat dumating siya dun sa Senado. Almost a year ago, ang sinabi ko sa taong bayan, kailangan malaman ng buong taong bayan ang katotohanan. At nung kami ay pinag-aaralan ng Ombudsman, ng Department of Justice, lahat ng mga aligasyon na dumating dahil sa flood control, maraming nagsasabi, bakit wala pang nangyayari? Bakit wala pang nangyayari? Bakit ang tagal ninyo? Namimili lang yata kayo kung sino yung i-prosecute ninyo. Ngayon, nandito na. At dahan-dahan lumalabas ng katotohanan. At dahan-dahan na. At ang pinakamaganda, kung talagang may kaso, kung sila ba naman ay walang ginawang mali, ay lalabas naman yan sa pagsusuri ng paghusga. At kaya naman, eto na yung mga ang hinihingi sa amin ng tao.
Former House Speaker Martin Romualdez again rejecting claims he was the mastermind of alleged budget insertions in Congress. His legal team belied the Ombudsman's statement he had functional control over the budget process, reiterating the spending proposal comes from the President and is deliberated by the House and the Senate. Romualdez's lawyers also said lawmakers didn't approve the release of funds, nor are they in charge of implementing government projects. They add sweeping pronouncements tagging the later representative as the grand architect of the multifaceted process does not help the public's search for truth and only reinforces views not backed by evidence. The Japanese government pledges support for the Philippines' construction of a strategic oil reserve system. Manila's Energy Department says this was reached during Thursday's bilateral meeting between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. The cooperation will see Japan sending experts to the Philippines to help build new stockpiling facilities. There was also assurance of capacity building through the likes of the Japan Bank for International Cooperation, alongside Japanese trading and engineering firms. The two countries further agreed to lead a regional joint stockpiling roadmap for the ASEAN regional bloc. Now, Tokyo is one of the world's largest strategic oil reserves and is dealing with with the Philippines coming amid the fuel crunch from the Middle East war. And speaking of fuel, a huge oil price rollback greets motorists in June. The Energy Department said diesel may be lower by 8 pesos per liter, gasoline by 4 pesos, and kerosene with the biggest decrease of 10 pesos also per liter. The agency says those figures could still be adjusted as it considered suggested prices by oil firms to protect them from losses. Officials are urging the public to report gasoline stations hiking prices before the expected rollbacks kicking in. Households in the Visayas are ending the month with continued energy troubles. The power grid of the group of islands will once more be on red alert for an hour beginning at 6 this Friday. This means power generation cannot meet demand, and so rotational brownouts are possible. Electricity lines there are currently on yellow alert, indicating thin supply, which will be until 10 in the evening. This is now the third straight week that the Visayas has had to endure insufficient power supply. The grid operator has pointed to higher electricity consumption as helping complicate the situation amid forced shutdowns of some power plants. And those are the latest news at this hour. I'm Stanley Palisada Kipitir on the ABS-CBN News Channel.